Our training tonight is going to be on love languages. So it's basically knowing how they receive. They meaning your team, your prospects, right? Even members of your own family. So just other people's love languages, personality types, and ultimately, we just need better communication in business. So people don't all hear, receive, trust, decide, or feel supported the same way. We all know that. So when we learn how people are wired, we can stop communicating from our personal preference and start communicating through theirs. So that's basically what we're going to be talking about. Um, and why communication matters. So, tonight we're going to talk about something that can completely change the way you build your business just by learning how people receive communication. So, so sometimes we think we're being encouraging, but someone else hears pressure, right? And sometimes we think we're giving great information, but someone feels overwhelmed. And sometimes we think someone is not interested when really we just haven't communicated in a way that connects with how they think, feel, decide, or trust. So, in network marketing in general, we are not just sharing products, we're building relationships. We are leading people, we are helping people make decisions, and people all make decisions differently. So, better communication creates more trust. I know we've had a lot of trainings on that, and more trust creates better conversations, and better conversations create more customers, stronger team, and better retention. I think we all want that, right? I mean, I know I do. So, love languages in business. It's out of the way. So, most of us have heard of love languages in relationships. But what I want us to think about is through the lens of leadership in business. So obviously, this isn't about romance, right? This is about how people receive care, encouragement, recognition, support. So there's actually five love languages that are commonly taught. Those are number one, words of affirmation. Number two, acts of service. Number three, our quality time, number four, receiving gifts, and number five, physical touch. So for business and team culture, we want to translate those into professional, appropriate support styles. So we're going to talk about the business version of love languages. So let's talk about words of affirmation. So these people, this is a love language, okay? So these people that feed off this. They need encouragement, belief, recognition. They need a lot of verbal support. So, for example, this is something you could say, I see how consistent you've been. You're growing, keep going. Okay? That's a love language to a lot of people, those words of affirmation. Number two, acts of service. So these people feel supported when you help them take action. So, like in a business example, would be helping them set up their first post, practice an invite, organize their product list, right? Prepare for a launch. These are like action, like more action service. So, these people feel valued when you give them focused attention. So, maybe like a 10-minute, like an example of something, a 10-minute voice message, a Zoom check in, is sitting with them to make a simple plan. That's their love language. Um, we're going to go to receiving gifts. We'll just skip over quality time. So, receiving gifts, can be another language. This can look like maybe a thoughtful tool, some samples, templates, recognition gifts, little surprises in the mail, right? An example of this is I made you a simple script or I'm sending you a sample pack or some brochures or something to help you with your business launch. A physical touch in business. So this is kind of less relevant online because you can't really physically touch people, like if you're on Zoom and things like that. But in person, this is another love language. It can translate into warmth, presence, eye contact, a hug when appropriate, right? Creating that welcoming environment. So when we know how people receive, we can actually stop assuming what everyone needs. And I did skip quality time. Quality time is a love language for some people. That could be like a focus check-in, a dedicated Zoom support. Like some people just need a strategy session that's going to strengthen connection. Providing an opportunity for them to interact helps team members feel heard, appreciated, and enhancing that collaboration and trust. We're going to move on to okay, so this is where it gets fun. And hopefully, I'm going to ask a few of you guys about your colors, or maybe you already know, but there was a little quiz. So, personality colors and how people communicate and make decisions. So, there's a lot of psychology behind this. This has been around for some time. And learning how personality colors help us understand how people think naturally, prioritize, communicate, make decisions. So in business, we often speak from our own style, but stronger connection happens when we learn how the other person best receives information. And maybe you can already probably tell some people kind of already know what they are, and then some people are really surprised. And usually you're at least like two colors. Okay, so red, think about your reds if you know anyone. This is the doer. So the doer is results driven, they're direct, they're decisive, they focus on impact, but urgency and results are really important. So they want to know what matters most and what moves the needle and what gets done fastest. So they're kind of a take charge direct kind of person. They may think, what's the priority? What's going to create the biggest result? What can be delegated or dropped? So if you're communicating with someone who's a red, even though it may not be your personality, right? You're talking to a red. You're going to want to be more clear, more concise. You're going to want to lead with the opportunity or the outcome, and you're going to give direct next steps, right? So they may be drawn to leadership, business growth, momentum, income potential, action plans. So here's a little fun example of inviting someone who may be a red personality type. You could say something like, I thought of you because you understand leadership, timing, and opportunity. I'd love to show you what we're building, right? That speaks to a red. Now we have the yellow personality. This is the socializer. They're focused on connection, they're energetic, collaborative, very people orientated, fun centered. Yellows, and a little nurturing too. Yellows prioritize connection, morale, and shared excitement. So these are your community people. They enjoy ideas that bring people together, that also can create income or momentum. But they may think, this is what a yellow might think. What matters to the group, to the collective? How do we get more people involved, more people excited? And is this going to build connection? Right? They're your network marketers. There's a lot of yellows in network marketing. So, how to communicate with them? Be warm, upbeat, share the community, the energy, use stories for social proof. Yellows love story sharing. Social proof is important. And we always talk about that, and we attract a lot of yellows. So yellows may be drawn to events, challenges, recognition, team culture, fun, shared experiences. So invite you could use with the yellow. is you came to mind because you're such a great connector. I think you'd love the community and energy around this. Green. Now, greens are your thinkers. They're your analyticals, your strategic, your detail orientated, and we do attract a lot of greens in Vital Health because we have a lot of practitioners, science-based. So greens prioritize through logic, like data, structure, careful evaluation. They want to understand how things work before deciding. Like they'll go down the rabbit hole of research, like, give me this, give me that, right? Those are your green people. They may think, what's the research? What's the science? Does this make sense? What are the risks and benefits? So, to communicate with a green personality, you want to be accurate and specific. You want to share credible resources. You want to give them a little more time to process. But they're going to be drawn to the products, the science, the systems, the tools, even the compensation, the structure, the training, the strategy. So, if you know people that are in that green zone, you may want to say something like, I know you like to understand the details before deciding. I can send you a clear overview so you can take a look. That's a green's love language. Okay. Now, we also have a lot of blues. Um, And blues are the relator. They're going to relate to a lot of people. Um, they're supportive, they're loyal, they're focused on harmony, right? So blues prioritize relationships, support, and emotional impact. So they care deeply about people. They care about people feeling seen, safe, and valued, right? So they may think, who's this going to help? How is this going to affect people? Does this feel aligned and supportive? So again, another yellows and blues are really prevalent in this industry, especially in health and wellness. So to communicate with a blue, they want someone who's sincere, authentic, personal, leading with care and purpose, and keeping the conversation pressure free. So they're going to be drawn to helping others, wellness impact, meaningful work, one-on-one connection, trust. So an example invite, I thought of you because you care so deeply about people. This could be a beautiful way to support others in their wellness. So can you see how communication changes everything, right? Put it in the chat. Is this like eye-opening for you? Have you ever considered this? Communication is one of the biggest things that we do here. If we can't like learn how to communicate with ourselves, like understanding how we communicate, but then learning how other people's communicate, right? So a red may want a point quickly, a yellow may want more energy and connection, a green may need facts and time to process, a blue may need trust and purpose. But the goal is not to become someone else, it's just to become aware enough to communicate in the way the other person can actually receive. Okay. And stick around because I do want to know, we're going to open up about some colors. So here's the big leadership lesson. So this is where it becomes really powerful because most people communicate, like I said, from their own personality style. Um, and, they can be like a kind of a fault of our own, right? Every personality style has a little different fault, right? So a red may push too hard, right? A blue may get excited but not do the follow-up, right? Because they're not pressure orientated. A green may overthink and overeducate, word vomit on people, right? Give them too much information. A yellow may care so much that they avoid inviting because they don't want to bother people. It's our personality. So none of these are wrong. They're just tendencies that we tend to do based on our personality colors. So the goal is not to change who you are. The goal is just to be aware of how you show up so you can adjust how you communicate based on the person that's literally in front of you. So connection happens when the other person feels seen, not when we say everything perfectly. So I just want to make that clear. And then how to use this with prospects really quickly. So when you're talking to a prospect, start listening for clues, right? That's why we have to become good listeners and ask questions. Because when you ask questions and they give you their answer, that is a clue. And their clues can be if they ask about results, business, timing, income, leadership, they may be more about red. They might be a red. If they talk about fun events, community, friends, they may be more yellow. And you can learn a lot of people just from stalking their social medias. Like, honestly, you could probably cue into what color they are just from the things that they're posting and the things that they're sharing, right? If they ask about ingredients and science and pricing and detail and proof, they're probably more green. And if they talk about family, helping others, purpose, not wanting to be pushy, they may be more blue. So here's a simple conversation formula, right? Ask, what caught your attention most? The products, the scanner, the community, or the business side? Listen, pay attention to what they care about first, right? So reflect. That makes sense. Based on what you shared, I think the best place to start would be blank, blank, blank. Do you guys see how that changed everything? Just by asking them what caught their attention first. That was a clue. And then guide, give them one next step, not 10. Nobody needs to be overwhelmed. Whatever they clued you into, just give them the clear next step. So how to use this with your team. So this is also going to matter because we have team. We're going to be recruiting, helping people, team members, customers. So this is going to matter in your leadership, especially with your team members, because your team isn't going to need all the same support. A red team member is just going to be like, give them the goals, leadership opportunities, and clear action steps, right? A yellow team member may need keep them connected to events, recognition, community, momentum. A green team member might need give them the tools, the trainings, the resources, time to understand. A blue team member might just need you to encourage them, remind them they're not being salesy, and help them lead through service. So duplication gets easier when people feel understood, right? Isn't that true? Okay, so I'm going to open it up really quickly. I'm going to come back because I do have something else I want to share with you. Um, so how many of you guys, I'll remove the pin. I hate it when I'm the big spotlight. Okay, so how many of you guys did the color personality thing? Laura. Okay. So what was your main personality style or color?
So it said blue, yellow. So blue would be my main then. Is that
Probably,
right?
or both. Yeah, probably blue, yellow. Okay. So knowing that you're blue, yellow, what is one strength that you think you bring?
Being caring about the customer.
Yes, for sure. Caring. Um, and knowing your colors, what's one area that you think you need to be a little bit more aware of?
Not wanting to be salesy.
Or maybe you have a hard time being a little direct because you're not a red,
Right.
right? I get that. So what type of prospect do you think you would naturally attract?
What about the same? Yes, no. I didn't know I was going to be put on the spot.
That's
Most
okay.
of my people don't ever raise their hand.
Well, that's why I have a ChatGPT prompt because I'm going to give you guys it so that you literally can take your colors and use this ChatGPT prompt and it will tell you everything. It will tell you everything about you, what kind of person you can attract. It's pretty cool. But I think the person you're naturally going to attract, since you're blue yellow, someone who needs social proof, someone who loves community, someone that needs to be seen, right? Maybe someone that had a bad experience, but now has a Laura who's gonna listen to them, see them, hear them, right? Because you're a yellow blue and you're really good at that. So a lot of women, right? Women, faith-based people, community builders, and your people are going to trust you because you're reliable, and you follow up. And you say, well, you do what you say, right? That's someone that's a blue personality. Um, and so anyone else want to share? Oh, Amber?
Yes, I actually did it too. And
Oh,
I was
yay.
a, yeah, I was a green blue. That's what it said about me.
Well, that I'm a blue green.
Well, there you go.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so if your color is green, it takes you a little longer to process everything, right? You need more of the facts,
Yes.
maybe a little bit more of the science, more research, right?
Hmm.
Um, so you're someone that if someone talks to you, right, your strength would probably be you would know some of those things. You could validate things because you
Hmm.
you would you would have more of that information, right? But you're
Yes.
also a blue, so you're supportive, right? You're steady pace.
Yes.
But then what's one area that you need to be aware of because you are a blue green
So I think it's because
or
I'm
blue?
kind of overthink a little bit.
Yes,
It's That's my biggest problem in all areas of life.
blues are overthinkers. Yep, and greens are too. Actually,
Yeah, I great.
yeah.
Super. Yeah, that's one area I need to work on for sure.
So follow up, collecting decisions, and be more direct.
Okay.
Probably struggle with
Yes,
procrastination. So,
I
yep,
do.
I get it.
Yes.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
And also with that personality type, we tend to overshare. We think more
Yes.
information's better when most people get very overwhelmed with that
Yes. I
because that's
see
what we
that.
think we need.
I wasn't surprised by my results, honestly, at all.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You're going to love the
Yeah.
ChatGPT prompt. I'm going to put it in the team chat when we're done.
Oh,
Um,
yay. I can't
and you
wait.
guys just put it in there and tell exactly what your personality type is, and it just spits it all out for you. It's awesome. It even gives you
Okay.
a whole week things for you to do every day based
Oh,
on your
wow.
color personality type. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share that did the colors? The personality? I know you did it, Carol. What was yours again?
Mine was the same as Laura's with the being blue, which surprised me because I thought blues were always the party ones, always talking and never getting a word in edgewise. And I'm not that kind of person, I didn't think. But what you said about Laura being the blue yellow nailed it because that's why I'm in her group because she is a nurturer, because she's helpful, because she's, trustworthy,
Hmm.
all the things you said. So the colors, yeah. And I think we're going to attract more of that in our organization just because we're
Yep.
both
Yep.
that
You
color.
tracked. Yeah, we probably actually don't have a lot of reds in Rise and Thrive, and there's probably a reason for it. Not that we can't not attract them, it's just not our like I said, if
Strength.
we had more of a team of reds, we'd have more reds. But reds also there can be a lot of what do you want to call it? A little bit more chaos and not a lot of structure with reds. So sometimes you get a lot of fast momentum. Like these are the people you see hitting ranks really quickly. It's all about the money, all the things. But then sometimes it's a flash in a pan because they don't have the blue, they don't have the green, they don't have the structure, the systems, the long term. So a lot of us here may not be the fastest recruiters, even though we are capable of it, but we will grow slow and steady. And I always say slow and steady wins the race because we would create the community, the structure, the things that really people want long term. So I'm okay with it. But do you guys see why why we all need each other? Because a strong team is not necessarily made of everyone being the same, because a lot of us bring different strengths and talents. So a strong team is actually very diverse. We need a couple reds. Reds are going to probably kick us in the butt, cause some FOMO, right? Like they totally do, right? And we also need a lot of strong connectors. People are going to connect us with communities, and we need a lot of strong researchers, right? Because we still need all that, and we need a lot of helpers. I bet you we have a lot of yellows, actually, a lot of yellows and blues, I think, here, more than anything. Anyone else want to share? They did a personality quiz or test. How many of you guys are interested now in knowing what color you are? Or maybe you didn't do it, but maybe you think you know what you might be. Does anyone want to share what they think they might be? You can put it in the chat too. I didn't even check the chat. See. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Amanda. I think you're definitely a blue and a yellow. That's what I think you are. But I also know you like green too. I know you like to know your research and you're very like that as well. So it would be interesting to see what you are more of. But those of you, you kind of have a little of all of it. I'm an overshare. Yeah, that's greens, blues overshare, overthinker. Hey, Don. Did you do the personality test or do you think you know what you are? No. Did you catch the end of it on the colors? Oh, you have to unmute.
No, I'm sorry. I've been too busy at work, unfortunately, and I just caught the tail end of what you're talking about. I'm like, yes, I'm that. I'm that. I'm that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
definitely not whatever the red is. I'm sure I'm not that.
Yeah, I know. You're an overthinker. Yeah, you kind of hesitate. So
But I'll be
you're also
working
a
on it.
researcher. I don't know. You and Amanda might have a lot in common.
Very much so. It's actually what I'm doing tonight at customer service. I got 3 people that I did get. We gave numbers. Still haven't learned that email thing because I don't have enough time to talk to them. But they're bringing up supplements, and I'm saying, oh, not to get in your business, blah blah blah. I've done a lot of research, and people there know that when I get involved in something, I dive deep. I'm the big ADHDer, and I'm gonna have all the knowledge in my head, but getting it out and explaining it. But I have people who listen, so I'm kind of excited about that part.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Yay. That's exciting.
But I'm still learning how to use Zoom, so I'm sorry. That's why I'm like playing
No,
around. How do I now mute myself? Can you mute me?
I can.
Okay, bye.
So I'm going to go back to the slides real quick because if you guys want to do a deeper dive into this, there's actually 3 good books, and I think you could get a lot of these probably like on Audible or all that. And I always check Spotify too, because you never know when they have like a free book when they're old. And then I'll put this in the chat too, or the team, so you guys can have them. But these are the three books, and maybe some of you guys have seen these books or know about them. Have you guys seen these books before? So I have How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a great book. That's like on network marketing's top 10 list. It's literally sitting on my nightstand. I have not read it yet.
I
But I
read,
have it.
read that as a kid. I really love. I've read that book like 7 times because it's just
Yes.
interesting like that.
Yes, it's a good one. But this 4-color personality for MLM, this would be one that go check out. Big Al Schrader. Have you guys heard of this one? So he's actually wrote a couple books. He's actually the one that I also recommend on our new affiliate training is how to build your network marketing nutrition business fast. So he's got a lot of good tidbits, this Big Al Schrader. But that one really goes more into depth with the colors. And then this one, I've never heard of it, but it was recommended. I think this is just a classic, the 5 love language is like what we went over, the affirmation, the quality time, you know, what people because we all have a love language, I guess, right? Whatever moves the needle, you know, like free shipping, love language, right? Not that kind of love language, but something like Laura, you were talking about what energizes us versus doesn't energize us, right? It's kind of like a love language, like something that we would always, get us motivated.